Boom! Pow! Let's start this thing. Yeah. Hello, weirdos and malafolks. How are we all doing on this lovely Monday in October? I am Doug, also known as Guslado, and I will be continuing my work on the Embrace the Ember box. Ooh, pretty. Specifically, working on Kaeris here. Happy Miniature Monday. Oh, I like that one. Miniature Monday. That's a good one. So we got started on her here. And we're going to be working on trying to get a good read of the object source lighting because, let's be honest, she's mostly made of light source. The vast majority of this model is a light source. So that makes for an interesting challenge here. I'd previously been working on Deacon Hillcrest here, and I realized now that I'd made some mistakes with that there in that I probably should have done a little more work on the stuff that was going to be lit by that source light before I went in and detailed everything. Because now it's not, I'm probably going to have to go back in and re-deepen the shadows away from the light here. Because this, from this angle, reads pretty well. From here, it doesn't read as well. So probably going to have to go back and fix him up a little bit. We'll see. I'm kind of letting him ferment there a little bit. Oh, unfortunately, looks like I'm getting some rainbow vomit there a little bit, but might be some background processes ruining my stuff here. Yep. And you know what? I'm going to tweak a background process I had running here, and hopefully this will improve that there. I'd had a backup running in the background. All right. So I'm going to not do quite as much of the detailing on Earth there to try to avoid getting the awkward read that I'm getting on Beacon Hill Crest here a little bit. But yeah, so what we're going to do here is I'm going in here, and I went in and I went back and painted her eyeballs bright white. And so I'm going to go in and use what I did for most of these flames here are just the Citadel color and in contrast. I love this stuff for being the start for flames because it gives a really good shifting kind of swirly look to it there, that it does a nice transition from the really oranges to the bright yellows. I push it a little bit farther, bright in some locations, a little more red in other locations, but it's a really, really good base for my paint for the fire. So here we go, just getting a little bit of that. So with the contrast paints, I don't work with those on a wet palette because it does weird things. So I do that on a hard palette. So, but I also don't like to work directly from the pot because these tall pots are really easy to spill. And when you spill one of those for the first time, you shall weep. And sadness will prevail. And we don't want sadness. We want happy painting. We may not be painting trees, but we want happy trees. Because in Bob Ross we trust. So I was just going to go and hit her eyeballs with just a skosh of that. And I'm probably going to have to go back then and bring the brightest part of it a little bit brighter again. But this really helps to get that the orange parts of that flame there really nicely. Because in the artwork, she's got some really nice. It looks like there's fire in her eyes, which I love. So I'm really using the this artwork right here is what I'm really using as a guide. The other thing I like to do, in case anyone hasn't messed around with it, is that I like to, when it comes to fire, I like to use a source image. And so this is this and this are two source images I use to really kind of see a frozen flame, for lack of a better term, to really help get that, what does fire look like? Because honestly, when it comes to painting, I think a lot of painters end up forgetting to paint from reference when it comes to miniatures. Because like, oh, I got all the things here. Well, I'm working on fire, so I really want to have a reference for fire. So I'm going to be taking my phone there. I've got it, within my eye line so that I can, when I'm painting this fire, kind of go back and forth and compare them to see what I've got going on. So I'm going to set aside the hard palette because now I've got her eyes, got a little bit of fire in her eyes. So I am going to go and starting out with, let's see, where's mine? So I started with the deep red for a cloak there. For a coat, I'm going to go with a brick red. I'm going to go with the deep red here to just add a little bit more depth to it. But I don't want to go too bright. And just going to highlight, start adding in just a little more depth to that there. But I don't want to get this too bright before I add in the color, before I start adding in the source lighting on it there. Going to be kind of working back and forth because I want to see how bright I actually get that source lighting. Because ultimately, things that are lit by a source light have to be brighter than the highlights for it to actually read as lighting. So how was everyone's weekend? Hope everyone had a nice weekend. I had a fun time. I was running a Malifaux tournament out at my local game store. Had a good turnout for that. A little bit smaller than some of our other turnouts, but still had a nice 9 dudes show up. So that was good fun. Painting the red coats because I like red. And apparently I sing to myself when I paint. This is things that I do. Really just glazing over it with this little bit brighter red. Get that in there. Kind of establish some depth to the color because I'd really just done the really dark red on there, which is almost it's more black than it is red. So I really want to get that, get some nice color going on with that before I go, but I don't want to go too bright with this because we're going to be getting source lighting. Dun, dun, dun. it is. All right, let's need a little bit more here. So random thought I was having. So I'm super excited to have all these new titles for the Masters. And I was kind of thinking that, the Master titles, stick with me on this one, they're kind of like costume for, a different costume each Master can throw on and try out something new. Which is really appropriate that the book's cover that Malifaux Burns is coming out in October, because then it's like a Halloween costume. Okay, I'm weird. Maybe make completely no sense, but it makes sense to me, and that's the important thing. All right, so her cloak's got a little bit deeper. Got some nice color throughout her bit there. So the red coat. Just gonna hit that edge there that I missed. Alrighty. So what is up next? Well, I'm going to go and I want to make her pants dropping of paint. I'm going to go and do a little bit of brown on her pants there, because to break things up a little bit. Actually, I decided to go with brown on the black boots, brown strap. Yeah, I'm going brown on the straps. Straps in the pants. If you look at her art, it's got kind of, brown straps, brown pants. So, go with that. Going with the muddy brown here. Nice deep brown. I'm doing that directly over the black. So I painted those pants black to begin with over the Zenithal Prime. So I just really want it to be nice and dark, because I can always go lighter, but it's, I want to make sure those shadows are well established. To then be able to light it up from the fire. Going for a really nice deep chocolatey brown here. Speaking of things about Halloween that I love, chocolate. I love chocolate. I hope you like chocolate too. Hey, what's up, Eleanor? How you doing? Oh, nice. I could use one of those. I'm doing well. Getting a start to the week. Starting the week off with Kaeris. Woohoo! Had a nice weekend. Ran a Malifaux tournament at my local game store. Oh, thanks. Glad you like her so far. It's kind of going back and adding in a little bit more. Still keeping her really dark here. Well, I kind of made the mistake with Deacon Hillcrest that I went and kind of highlighted him too much elsewhere, so I got to go back and add in some more deep in the shadows in some areas to really get the light source to read properly. But so I'm going and doing more of work with the flame first, and then I'll highlight from there to help get it good. Little Malifaux League where you're trying new stuff, getting back into the game. Nice. Yeah. My guy, it's anytime I try to get a league going, people are like, yeah, I want to do that. And then it just doesn't happen. My guys are all about the tournaments. I mean, even, the friendly local play, there's a play on game night on Thursdays. They want to, prep for tournaments. And just how my guys play. It's the Texas meta. The Texas guys love tournaments. I think the one way to really get the guys to not play as tournament focused would be if there was another global campaign. Because I remember when there was the other weird global campaigns, like the Kythera one and some of those other ones, where we really got a lot of guys who were playing stuff that they don't normally play. So I would love for there to be another global campaign. Kimberly, tell the powers that be, we want global campaigns again. Because those are just fun. I love those. All right, got that going there. Think. Okay. Really, how do I want to do this? Well, I think I'm going to go and just make sure I've got all of my paint, my flames, at least the very base bits going. All right. So, let's see. Where is that gray? There you are. Hello, gray. Yes. Because honestly, some of the most fun I've had has been playing in those global campaigns where, there's that map and it changes and everyone's like, hey, we're claiming this. And a lot of times I then ended up playing like stuff that I didn't normally play because it was just good fun. Oh, or those campaign. I remember that campaign where we got, Ferdinand Vogel and the little outcast girl. And who was the third one? Because there was three of them. Ferdinand Vogel, Wolfman Dude, Outcast Girl, and who? Oh, and Serena Bowman. Yeah. I love that campaign. That was a fun campaign. Yeah, Merlina. I forget. That's the name I forget. So Ferdinand and Serena are the ones that I have. Although I've never gotten the official Serena model because, my surname is Bowman as well. So before her model came out, I wanted to run her. So I made an alternate sculpt of Douglas Bowman, which is basically I used parts from the Through the Breach multi-part male kits, as well as parts from the Through the Breach multi-part. So I took a head from the multi-part male kit and used a pretty dress from the multi-part female kit. And used that and put the male head on there. And then I sculpted, a nice beard on it. So that is the my Douglas Bowman sculpt. That is always fun when I get that on the table. Which is nice because she works really well with the Dreamer, obviously being a Nightmare model. And Dreamer is one of my favorite masters. So it does see a decent amount of play. But my local guys had said they would only count, alternate Serena Bowman as Douglas Bowman if I sculpted the model with a dress. So I did. Because that's just fun. I even, back in second edition, I had a card. I took downloaded the digital card. Oh, no, yeah. That was before they offered them digitally. So I scanned the card and photoshopped my face onto the model. I haven't done that yet for the third edition cards. But I really should do that. I took the Serena Bowman card and I drew a beard on her and crossed out the name Serena and wrote Doug. Because quite frankly, that amuses me. And if you can't find amusement like that, what's the point in, doing things? You got to be silly sometimes. And everyone seems to enjoy it when I put Douglas Bowman on the table. Alrighty, so got those nicely established there. I think it's time to start playing with the fire. It's time to play with fire. So I'm going to pull up my fire reference really fast. So remember, this is the reference image I'm working off of. This and that. So this is it, where I darkened it a little bit. But this is how I really keep track of what fire looks like. I know that sounds silly to say, but I've always been trained to, look at reference when it comes to what you're painting. And fire is such a dynamic thing that it's easy for us to forget what it looks like. I know. When it comes down to it, I talk a lot about my theories on how I like fire to look on a miniature. because it's, when done well, it's one of the coolest things you can get. When done poorly, it really, really irks me. No, so if you look at this, the other thing with it is that a model, if we wanted to be truly accurate to fire, this would have to be transparent. And so you see that the parts that we can see through are dark. So the insides of it is actually dark. And the edges, it's not as simple as the highlighting just the bright edges. It's highlighting the bright edges, but the color changes. It gets darker towards the farther you get from the source. So it's super bright on the inside there. And that's what I'm going to go and establish, is that I view the back right here as being the ignition source. And so I've got to get that really bright there. But then you see that the interior of the flame, so if my hand were a flame, bright down here, the inside is dark. The edges then are bright, but it gets darker towards the tip there a little bit too. But it also depends on, is it a gout of flame or is it a candle flame? This is, I view more as a gout of flame, where it actually gets brighter on the leading edges. There's this really great video that I use as reference a lot of the time, where they used bullet time to capture fire breathers. And so fire is a tough thing to really paint, because it's so dynamic. And this is a frozen moment in time. And also, fire is innately transparent, because it's a plasma or something like that. And it's not a physical thing, but this is hard plastic. So for truly, the most real to life fire, you take a translucent model and use that. But so technically, all painted fire is very stylized. So I'm going in here. I took my brightest yellow, the lemon yellow, and I made effectively a wash with it. And I'm going in, and I'm really putting it in. I don't like it when it goes full white. You see a lot of people paint it that way. I think that it pushes it not quite where I would like it to be. So I'm going in and I'm washing in on a traditional model, this would be the shadow. But I'm going in and adding a brighter ignition source. I'm also not the best person who's ever painted flame. But when you see it painted really, really well, you see that it's not just a inverted paint scheme like you see a lot of people say to paint fire. It's far more complex than that. And that's why it's really difficult. And ultimately, we're really going for the feel of fire. We can't be totally accurate in this because, quite frankly, it's not moving. And I haven't set this model on fire. And I don't want to disappoint anyone, but I'm not actually going to set my model on fire. That would be really awkward. And then I'd be sad because I wouldn't have a model anymore. I know we don't want to actually set our Kaeris on fire. By the way, when it comes to painting, flames and stuff like this, oh, we're definitely going to be passing through the chrysalis of misery. This is prime chrysalis of misery. I feel like I'm about to enter it. Yeah, chrysalis of misery. I can't wait for them to go on tour with Brutal Emissary. That's going to be a rockin' concert. Awesome. So I've got that kind of around her back there. She's also got a bunch of this on her hands. So figure out where the ignition source is for that. Intrepid, yes, like Intrepid Emissary. Oh, right, it's the. I had to think for a second. Oh, right, that's Explorer Society. That's what they named it. In my brain, he's just Explorer Emissary, but Intrepid is a better name than Explorer Emissary. All right, so. Going in. I feel like I'm really overdoing this, and I'm okay with that. So I'm going to come back and start laying back in the oranges a little bit away from the very ignition source point right there. Okay, cool. You haven't tried that in the game yet, though. I'm usually pretty terrible at, looking at versatile models. I tend to go run almost strictly keyword. Okay. Let's add back in a little orange. I can see that. Actually, something I'm going to be doing here. Because when it comes to painting fire, I really go back and forth between lots of different colors. I'm going to be prepping up a few different colors on my palette here. It's probably as bright as I want to go. I mean, as dark as I want to go. So, which of the Explorers Masters have you gotten to the table so far, Eleanor? Yedza, Anya, and Maxine. Awesome. Yeah, I've only gotten Cooper to the table so far. Oh yeah, McKay. God, I forget that. I forget he's Explorers now too. I've got him. I just need to actually, I haven't tried running him as Explorers yet. All right, so let's take a look at this. It starts adding in, a little bit of that orange in there. Oh, thank you, Hannah. It's coming along. We're about to enter, the phase of painting flames. About to enter the chrysalis of misery, the sadness where it starts to look, where I become disillusioned with what I'm painting. When it comes to fire, I prep up a whole bunch of fire colors right there, and I really go back and forth between things to just kind of get it to look what feels right. So I totally splotch things awkwardly there. End up doing a lot of very wet on wet. I'm just really going to be bouncing around between several colors here because, well, she's got a lot of flame going on here. And the darker parts of the flame, I'm actually trying to brighten up a little bit without overwhelming it. Just trying to blend it back and forth. Video down was unable to happen. Reload the page and say, yeah, the joys of technology, right? And one of the things you'll hear me, really talk about when it comes to flame is that it feels very much alive and it's active and it moves. And that's one of the harder things that makes it difficult to really capture a good. What do I use to stick the core? Oh, I use poster putty, blue tack. Some people call it blue tack. I call it poster putty because I don't have the blue variety. It's just white. Poster putty. Oh yeah, there's some of it right there. So, just sticky. Use to stick posters to wall. Yeah. Sticky tack, blue tack, poster putty, whatever you want to call it. I'll put it on like a cork, or these are homemade painting handles. These are really, really old Citadel paint pots. But then, it's like I can set it upright on here and do that. Hey, Jay! Thanks for tuning in. Hey, Jay is one of my local guys. Awesome dude. Oh, dude, he did something really, really cool. I have to grab this. Got to show you something that Jay gave to me over the weekend at the tournament. Here we go. So Jay, who's not only one of my local players. Oh yes, dude, I love your crazy flocked Ermanthian board. That's awesome. I don't know if I commented on that or not. But so Jay, because he's tuned in a whole bunch of times, gave this to me. And it is Waldo wearing, counterfeit Kevin's. For those of you who tuned in when I was painting my the hucksters, we had the one dude who was named Counterfeit Kevin. And so, and he was, because he was making counterfeit Malifaux's fried chicken coupons. And so, yeah. So I got that. So Jay painted this up and gave it to me at the tournament on Saturday. And I love it. See, I told you I'd save it, Jay. I got it right here. And so that makes me really, really happy. So here you go. Anyone who wants to. Yeah, I'm zoomed in a little bit here. I don't want to mess up my framing. But there's this. That makes me really, really happy. So I got fan art from Jay. That makes me so happy. Like, really. Oh, that makes me really, really happy. So I had to share that with you all. I made sure I had it, nearby. So yay. But yeah, so Jay, oh yeah, I've got on my shirt, I've got I get covered. It's Batman Cthulhu. because I love Cthulhu mythos things, and Batman's pretty awesome too. So, Batthulu. So basically, what I got to do with this. Oh, the tournament! The tournament was good fun. I think we had 9 people. A Night in the Lonesome October. Is that a Lovecraft one? I've read most of the Lovecraft, read or at the very least listened to on audiobook most of the complete works in that mythos. But I get a lot of their names mixed up. Jack the Ripper's dog has 2 sides, openers and closers. Work to either bring the old ones to Earth or keep them. What? That sounds so cool. Oh, multiple man army. Thanks. Glad you're liking what I've got going on with the fire effect. I'm trying to go in and clean it up, establish it more and get more of that living flame thing going on. Mecha Shell. Yeah, so I don't get to play competitively very often anymore. I always play as the ringer. We had one guy who was going to have to leave after round 2, so my buddy, the Nick Westbrook, for those of you who follow the comments from Steam Powered Scoundrel Guys and Third Floor Wars, the Nick Westbrook, one of my local guys. And so I get to, since he had to leave after 2 rounds because he had family stuff, I just played against him for 2 rounds instead of having a bye in there and me playing against that guy as the non-competing ringer. And so I think I played Dreamer, and then I played Marcus. So that's fun. I've been playing a lot of Marcus lately. I really need to branch out again with from that. I've also got to figure out a master to play against new players. So, all right. So I got to write this down. So what was the name of that book? A Night in Lonesome October. A Night in Lonesome October. Cthulhu meets Jack the Ripper and his dog. Obviously, do it. It's my Roger Zelaz. I like that name, Zelazny. By the way, this is why we don't watch me write. I've got the world's worst handwriting, but I'm trying to write down things really, really fast so I can get back to painting. But thank you for that recommendation. I'm gonna have to check that out. That sounds totally up my alley. But yeah, for those of you just tuning in, most of what I've got here for the flame effect, it was just primed white on there, and then used the Citadel contrast and in yellow. I love how it looks as a base for flame. What do I call it? Not a fan of Lovecraft. I like he's got a complex history. I love the mythos. I love the way the world has gone with it. And that's a separate the art from the artist kind of guy. Because the artist there was kind of terrible. But if you all, I loved the show on HBO, Lovecraft Country. So good. Love that show. Sadly, did not get picked up for a second season, despite the fact it won like all of the Emmys. Maybe after winning all those Emmys, they'll decide to bring it back. Who knows? Oh, that's fun. I love reading. I love books. I love audiobooks. A lot of times, like if I'm not streaming and I'm painting, I'll listen to an audiobook. Can't really stream and paint because, when you're streaming, you got to, talk to the people who are kind enough to tune in. So I can't really listen to an audiobook then. But I love audiobooks. I love them when I'm driving too. Exactly. I appreciate all of you. I really do. One of the things I really enjoyed, I used to work at a GW store. And one of the things I really enjoyed was when, you get a bunch of people sitting around the hobby table and everyone, painting and, being really get, a lot of, good hobby energy going. And just that, get weird random conversations going on. But, get that hobby energy going and everyone's painting, being productive, and just get that camaraderie going on. Hey, what's up? Oh, what's that? What's up, Chrisman Chui? What's up? I hear he's a real mensch. Yeah, I love that's one of that painting camaraderie is something I really, really enjoy. And hopefully, once the pandemic is more in the rear view mirror, my local game shop, the one I love very much, I talk about them all the time because they're super awesome. Dragon's Lair. They were hopefully they'll get started up doing regular paint nights again. And, going and painting in person will be fun. So hopefully I'll get that going again. And he also, up there at Dragon's Lair Houston, he wants me to maybe do a few paint classes at some point. Where will we split it with? Oh, don't split it. Just paint, paint rather than later too. You never know what you're going to need. No need to split the box. It's, not terrible. To be fair, I think I play literally at some point in time, I've played every single faction except Bayou. Yeah, you can't cut Deacon Hillcrest in two. Shared custody of August. Now, the way I look at it is if you've got a box that has got models you don't intend to use, that aren't for the faction that you play, don't go and think, oh, these are models I'll never use or paint. Use those as practice. Because, I mean, before I got going on Kaeris here, I started with Deacon Hillcrest. And because it had been a while since I painted Fire. And I made a few mistakes with him that I did too much of the detail away from the Fire. And now the source lighting on it doesn't read quite the way I want it to. It looks good, but I think I went too bright with everything else. Where if I can do it in comparison to it, it sells better. It sells the look a little bit better. But so let's say you don't plan on using Reva or Riva. Is it Reva? Is it Riva? I'm never sure. I kind of end up saying both. But if there's one of the models in the box you don't plan on using yourself, use that as practice. So yeah, the one thing I have with the Conjurer's Paint does a really good job of setting up the flames, but it does leave kind of the orange of it, the orange part of the yellow there does go a little towards the brownish kind of. It gets a little dull, so I'm kind of going in with this bright red here and highlight, laying it into the orangey parts and kind of making them a little more vivid. It reads as a little dull. Ooh, yes. I love Through the Breach. So that's one of my. I've played a lot of RPGs, and obviously, I love the lore and the world of Malifaux. But I really enjoy the way Through the Breach plays as an RPG. Like, even if I weren't invested in the lore, the its use of cards and the way it's set up with the pursuits and stuff, it lends itself more towards storytelling and less towards murder hoboing. Yeah, split them in half there. Yeah, exactly. It's that, you've seen what's come up so far. If well, I know like if you once your black joker's out of the game, has hit the discard. Well, there's nothing in that will be an more or less automatic failure. So there's always a chance then. I like that. And ultimately, RPGs, they're more of an exercise in collaborative storytelling than competitive gaming. D20 system. Yeah. I've played a few games that use various iterations of D10 systems, or 2D10 systems. I enjoy the ones that use some of the Star Wars ones. I had some fun with some friends. Where those I think use kind of a proprietary dice system there. But Through the Breach, it's that combination of a universe I love and a system that just works so well. It's so much fun. See, there you go. Yeah, I've got her. I haven't started painting her yet, but I've got her primed. So this is Reva. Really cool model. That's going to be fun to paint. So I think I want to go with, the orange flames on it there. I like that look of real flame. I tend to use, so in the artwork, Deacon Hillcrest had the pink magical flames there, but I kind of really wanted to tie the box together as a whole. And going with, quote unquote, quote, real fire for the flames was what I really wanted to do for Kaeris. So I wanted to tie the whole box together. And they're going to end up with, as you can see, I've got them all based on cobblestone bases. And so I'm going to keep it consistent with the yellow-orange flame. And really, I mean, what you see, this stuff left me just a really good look. And so now I'm really just going in, and you can see I've got, all of these different quote unquote temperatures of the flame. And I'm trying to just go in and establish where the different heat points are and just kind of clean them up. And mostly just provide contrast. Is it 100% realistic? No, but this is stylized. because real flame isn't frozen in time. And it's just really going and establishing contrast to make it look good. Well, if you've ever got questions about painting, tune into the stream here. We've got a lot of really great, talented painters on here. And then there's me. No, so there's a lot of when I learn new things, tuning in and watching the other painters too. And ultimately it just comes down to slap some paint on it. I've still got a bunch of all of my old painted models that I look at them and go, it's not so much the, oh no, I hate what I painted. It's the, hey, as I painted, I progress and I get better and better and better. And seeing how you have improved over time. Just paint, 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 paint. The more you paint, the better you can get at it. And it's definitely something that just you practice it and you practice it. And you butt your head against the wall. And then eventually you get there. But I learn new things when it comes to painting all the time. And I don't claim to be the best painter in the world or the expert on all things. There's definitely a lot of stuff that, I learn as I go. And so because this has got, so I really wanted to go back in and establish the brighten up the dark parts. Now I'm really just going through with this really bright yellow. Oh, no, don't worry about it. This really bright yellow and establishing some contrast. And seeing where I think that, it's looking a little bit bland, or where it's kind of, just all blending together there. And just hitting it with a little bit of the bright bits here. Because as flame goes, it really flickers. It flickers and different parts are brighter at different moments than others. So I can really go in and play it by ear. So let's be honest. Wings made of fire don't exist. I know it's very disappointing. There's no actual phoenixes in the world. It makes me sad every day. I was kind of going in and hitting it. And this is more about establishing contrasting bits. Just make it look interesting. I'd rather it look interesting as opposed to, 100% accurate. Am I on screen yet? Cool. Like a coffee, but slams together like a clamp. I think that's in reference to something that was said earlier there. Curses. I'm not sure if you're chatting on the YouTube or the Facebook stream there, but I'm not seeing what that was in reference to. Was this about splitting the model? That would make sense. We were talking about splitting models. I think that's what we're talking about. What Curses is talking about. There we go. And so as you can see, I'm really just going in areas that look to me like, oh, that's a hot spot, and going in and pumping up the contrast. Because this is a swirly mass of flame, man. Oh yeah, that happens. And it scrolls up. I can't, because I only end up seeing the. So I can scroll back up through the Twitch chat, but I can't scroll back up through the YouTube or the Facebook stuff there. Yeah, I tend to go. So what I'm doing here is I'm really going with where the points where it's like, oh, I get a little point there that I decided not to go with the orangier colors on, or where it curves or whatever, and it's really going and hitting it to increase contrast. Because that's what really, makes flame look good, in my opinion. I honestly feel like I mostly just need to enhance what the contrast paint left me with. So like in here, I need to go in, add a little bit more of that oranges, maybe a little bit red there. Let's get a little bit more. Because I had a large area where it was just bright yellow. And I'd rather have a little bit of contrast going on there. That's all right, Jay. I'm just here painting, chatting, talking about how I really enjoy how I feel that get the social aspect with some painting, doing these streams. Which is something I miss from, going and painting at the game store. But hopefully someday soon, all the pandemic stuff will just be a distant memory. And I'll be able to go and teach some painting classes or, get together and hang out with people and paint at the local game store. That would be, and then like have a wick to like light the can as a candle there. Flexible metal. That'd be cool. Yeah, one of the things, one of those random hobby projects that I've wanted to do for years that I have the model for, I just haven't actually sat down and done it, is I've got the old, they did a Wyrd released the translucent orange Kaeris model a couple years back. And I really want to take her and her crew and basically have LEDs beneath them and partially paint bits of them. And so then you got, light projecting from beneath. I thought that would be really cool. Just haven't ever gotten around to it. You know how we all get. Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome? But you know how it goes. We all get those brilliant hobby ideas that then we don't do. So one of these days, I'll actually do that. But I'll have to figure out how to hide an LED in the base. It'll probably require me learning a little bit more wiring or something, which is definitely not my strong suit. I have a bunch of terrain at my tournament, a bunch of my tournament terrain that I bring with me, that I make light up, and I use LED tea lights for that. But I think the LED tea lights are a little bit large to use for a miniature, except maybe something on like a 50 mil base. Oh yeah, no, literally. Yeah, I've got, I've got one sitting right here. Yeah. See, I use those for, various terrain things that I do. I've got a whole table that I have. Oh yeah, Jay, because Jay's been to my tournaments. I've got a whole table that is my glowing crystal forest. That looks great. Ends up looking really cool on the table. I need to get some good pictures of it at some point and share those to the internets. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Hannah. Yeah. I don't think I'm streaming. I'm not streaming again this week, but I'll be here again next Monday. But yeah, we've got streams all week long, except Fridays. We don't do Fridays. but stop by whenever. Trying to think who's painting tomorrow. I know that after I wrap up tonight, we've actually got Salty Seabass is going to be doing some painting this evening, starting at what 6 o'clock Eastern. I think is when Salty Seabass is starting. And yeah, so I've got the I'm using mostly the bright yellow here because it ends. I've got it really thinned down. So is Salty Seabass in the chat right now? I don't know, but I know he's painting later. I think it's 6 o'clock. Which Jay, that would be 5 o'clock our time because we live in Central Time. But I try to make sure I get my head in Eastern Time when I'm talking to the stream here because that's where Wyrd is. If I were trying to, oh, you got another dad joke. Oh man, you shared a few groaners with us at the tournament on Saturday that I loved. Oh, okay. So you're familiar with the area that they are, yeah. stretch for a moment there. What is the Arcanist Chef's Union's signature dish? I don't know. What is it, Jay? I say, regretting that I asked. Kaeris. Oh, damn it, Jay. Oh, thank you. Hope y'all didn't realize. I hope y'all realize that apparently when I stream, it is apparently has become a dad joke hour, and I'm okay with this. Oh, just the one today? Got to come up with some more of them. I expended all of mine last time. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on who you are. No terror. Oh, God. Thank you. Thank you, Curses. Oh. See, jokes like that, my love of jokes like that, are why I should not have children. Because I've heard once you are a dad, it just enhances your dad joking. And my dad, I already love dad jokes too much. Therefore, not allowed to have children. Because the world couldn't handle it. The world could not handle my dad joke shenanigans. Oh, what do we got? Oh, is that the Nick Westbrook? It is the Nick Westbrook. How you doing, man? Hey, Oh man, we got Bedjifer, and Jotun Wolf. Hey, what's up, Jotun Wolf? How you been, man? So you're doing some flames. Tuning in from the airport. Oh yeah, you're on your way out to Washington, right? Oh, that sucks, Jotun Wolf. Hey, yeah, we got all the people all of a sudden. Bedji Bedjitifer? Was that T-A? Oh, the country. Bedji France. Oh, yeah. Okay. Typo. Okay. Bedji France. By FR, you mean France, right? Bedji. I'll just. Bedji is Bedji, okay? Or Bedji fur? Bedji. Bedji's okay. Okay, cool. I have not tried turbo dark paints. Beware if you have a blockage, you will shoot the top off the damn bottle before clear the blockage by squeezing. I feel like you that is a cautionary tale that you experienced too much sadness. Yeah, I love it. This is fun. This model really, really nice to build, and I'm having a blast painting this. I really do enjoy the when it comes to painting flames. It it feels very what is the word I'm looking for? Free form, very. The word is escaping me at the moment. A little ad hoc, very lyrical. Painting flames feels very lyrical because it's. I mean, remember this. I'm painting a static representation of a moving thing. You know, this is what fire's like. Fire, 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 fire. And I'm painting a static representation of it. And so I very much go back and forth and back and forth. And it's a very lyrical type painting job. Paper clips, done that with a dropper bottle. Yeah. That's why I've got, because I've got all these, dropper bottles here. I've got these pins that I stole from my sewing kit that then I go and stab them in there. But I like the ones with little ball ends there. That way I don't lose them. Ooh, paper clips would work too. Because I've also got, big old box of paper clips here because I use those for pinning things. Yeah, of all of the so I'm excited for all of the honestly, I haven't seen a sculpt for the new master titles yet that I don't like. But of the ones that we've seen the actual sculpt for, or that have actual models released for, I think Kaeris is my favorite. This wasn't so much the Riders wine. Oh, this is from a Beaujolais Nouveau from 2014. Don't judge my taste in wine. I love Beaujolais Nouveau. By the way, if you're not familiar with what Beaujolais Nouveau is, it's basically the youngest wine you can possibly get. It's alcohol. It's literally alcoholic grape juice. It usually comes out in November, so you'll be able to get a 2021 in November. It is the youngest wine you can get. It's almost like purple. And I love it. Definitely not the finest of wines. I don't know what I'm singing. Was that Bewitched? I'm going insane. So the flames down here near the base are definitely going to be a little bit more in the red spectrum because it feels like it's a lot farther away from quote unquote the ignition source. It's definitely going to be getting more into the red end of the spectrum. I'm still keeping it a very bright red. And I'm probably going to go back in and add a little more oranges to it there. Moscato, please. Drink now. Drink only, no dessert. That sounds delicious. I haven't had Moscato in a while. Yeah, I tend to like my wines on the sweeter side. Okay. So this reminds me slightly. And Kimberly, you'll have to ask Muscato. Muscato. No. Those are the things that bite you and drink your blood. The Muscatos. Yeah, Seabass is starting at I think 6 o'clock. Oh, it's turned to wine. Why did it turn to wine? Oh, it's because I've got my wine cork here. That I've got, I've got my pins that I use to clear out my plug, my any plugged, if my dropper bottles plug up. I've got the pins jabbed into my Beaujolais Nouveau, and I was talking about how it's not really a good. I love it, but it's not what would be considered fine wine. But I mean, I've also got, I put lots of things on. Oh, this one was from Veuve Clicquot. That's good stuff. Hey, how you doing? I don't know if he's still watching or not, but the Nick Westbrook was here earlier. Yeah, I'd use a lot of Prosecco and champagne corks to put miniatures on, because we got, it's this nice little knob there, and it's got a nice stability there. But Kimberly, if you want to, find out, make fun of me some there. Unfortunately, you weren't there at Gen Con, but during the volunteer after dinner, Kelly and Nathan were definitely making fun of my beverage choices. Because my Aperol Spritz and my Limoncello Sparkler looked very fancy. And so Kelly and Nathan, and let's be honest, most of the other people at the table were making fun of my fancy looking beverage choices. So wait. Nick Eastbrook is actually a person? Oh, Crimson Tan, good. I was finally able to deliver the Bonanza Brawl deck to the Nick Westbrook. He's very excited for that. And I sent a message to Roman because I had to deliver, the creepy hug to the Nick Westbrook from Roman. So, but got, the picture of a very excited the Nick Westbrook with me and his Bonanza Brawl deck. Oh, he was excited. And slightly weirded out by the incredibly, I fully recreated the creepy hug that I had to deliver from the Nick Westbrook to Roman. So I had to full on reciprocal give it to the Nick Westbrook because that's what Roman demanded. And after the shenanigans, our games, the shenanigansy filled games we had at Gen Con, I can deny you all nothing. Because, playing that Bonanza Brawl, oh man, it was so much fun. I was bummed I had to go and leave to go take the hobby class I was taking at Gen Con. Because I was having an absolute blast playing with y'all. Oh, he will use the newfound power. You will. I expect you. All the newfound power. Who was the? Oh, me. So we were talking about this earlier. Ironically enough, I used Douglas Bowman. I used myself. So because there a couple years ago when because there's Serena Bowman. My last name is also Bowman. So I built an alternate Serena Bowman model. I used the multi-part kits. I used the a dress from the multi-part female kit. And one of the dresses holding a nice little umbrella, and then I put a head from the multi-part male kit, and I sculpted a glorious beard on it because my friends told me that while they'd be okay with me running an alternate Serena Bowman as Doug Bowman, it still had to be in a dress for it to count. So I used the multi-part kit for that. Okay, you want to see that? If you give me, like, here, I will go grab that for you. It's right there in my figure case. I'll be back in like 2 seconds here. There we go. My figure case. You want to see alternate Serena Bowman? Here we go. Right there. All right. Here we are. Here is me. So, are we ready for it? That is alternate Serena Bowman, Doug Bowman. And so, exactly. The purple dress. So, purple is really my through color with my Neverborn. Because I mean, purple is their faction color. But so he runs around, and yeah, it got a little bit bent. It happens. You know what? I think it makes it even better. But come on, auto. There we go. Get my focus back on it there. There we go. But he runs around with the Widow Weaver, who's also in a purple and pink dress there. I'm a fan of my pink boots. So this is the legendary Douglas Bowman model. And so I had taken a card I made a custom second edition card for that model where I'd actually photoshopped my face onto it. I haven't done one yet for the third edition, but I really should do that. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Maybe I should do that after I'm done painting today. Although on my Serena Bowman card, I did draw a beard and cross out the name Serena and wrote, I know I've been saying for years that, Wyrd really needs to make a, like they did with the Hikome, they need to make, actually make it an official model. I'm telling you. And then I could paint myself live on stream. Think about it. Best marketing opportunity ever. Oh, see, I've got a bunch of. Actually, Crimson Tan has seen these. I gave a set of those to her and the other dog. Got a set of a bunch of tombstones that has got various members, the names of various members of the Malifaux community. A lot of my local guys. But also various people from around the community. It's like Craig Shipman, the guys from Maps by Mars, all kinds of them. Series painting themselves on stream. Oh, that'd be so much fun. I mean, to be fair, I do kind of, I end up painting myself literally on stream. But we'll call it the Content Creator Series. Oh, I'm glad you like how she's looking so far. Really going in and trying to make the flames look good. Trying to get that swirly lyrical nature of flame going here. Because remember, this is a frozen moment in time. And if you see it, there's a lot of motion to this model here. It's a swoosh of flame. This is definitely one of the new models. This was one I was most excited to paint. But yeah, anytime I end up playing, can't wait for title. Oh, title Molly, that'll be fun. But yeah, anytime I end up playing in a an all out brawl, or what used to be called what used to be called Enforcer Brawl, it's an all out brawl, or the new Bonanza Brawl that Other Doug put out. I like to use Douglas Bowman because then it is my avatar upon the tabletop. It makes me feel very involved in the game. Oh, need to hit refresh on that there. That's acting weird. There we go. Oh, let's be honest. We all have so much to paint. I don't have a shelf of shame. I've got cabinets and closets of shame. As you can see behind me, that entire closet right there is almost entirely full of various unpainted models. Drawers of shame, cabinets of shame. Yeah, it's what happens. I mean, I've been playing mini games for longer than I care to admit. At this point, it's I've been playing minis games for 25 years at least, probably. I mean, I definitely get started on a painting project and then get distracted. I'm terrible at that. It's one of the reasons why one of my favorite things that I've done is the Iron Painter contests, because those are so short. You got your 2 weeks to do those. I've loved those because it's really getting, you do it and it's like boom, boom, boom. And it's, over before you realize you're running out of time so rapidly. And I love it because, I get something done and it's a challenge. And I hope we get to bring those back for it. I hope Wyrd brings the Iron Painter back at some point. Well, so I really enjoyed the Iron Painter because they had um, 3 judges. Uh, I can't remember. I know that Shane Roselle from Figure Painter magazine and Angel Heraldez were 2 of the judges. I can't remember who the third one was. So they had, actual legitimately professional judges. As opposed to community vote. And so I like that a lot. But part of the fun with it is that, yeah, I can't remember who the third judge was. I know that Play Wyrd could probably tell me that. But I know it was Shane Roselle and Angel Heraldez. Oh, it's the Shelf of Possibility. Ooh, I like that. Of course, then let's be honest. It's the Shelf of Endless Possibilities because I'm never going to paint all the way through all those. Yeah, there's definitely been times where I may have bought models that I've already purchased, but I forgot that I'd purchased them, and they were living on my one of my shelves of possibility because I'm terrible like that. Ooh, that is a noble pursuit. I love the images you shared of it so far, so I'm looking forward to seeing it all the way done. So I'm actually going to be going here and starting to glaze back in some of the more reddish tones around the outside as the base here. So I feel like I've got the fire at a good point, or I can always go back and add more. But I'm going to start to add in the OSL look on a lot of the stuff here. So I'm going to be starting to add in the glazing on the model itself there. And with the base here, I did this mostly with the dry brushing method, just to really pick out those the high points on there. But now I'm going to go back in and start to glaze the. I like the glazing method for OSL a little bit better. So I'm going to be going in and starting to add in some of the reds, because if you look at the base here, there's not a lot of the reds in there. So I'm going back in and glazing in my reds. As it fades away from the fire there. You're going to kind of go in and maybe put them inside, almost like a wash down in the cracks in between there. Actually, even going with a deeper red on those. So I'm a big fan of challenging yourself to paint something new. Try new techniques. Try, to get something done in a time period. It's you find, how you want to challenge yourself, and it helps to motivate you. For me, I'm doing this is a lot more source OSL type stuff than I normally do. And so on that, then I'm also on her knee pads, on her chest piece there, that I'm going to have to be doing with a non-metallic metal, because one of the things is that with doing a lot of OSL type stuff is that true metallics, using metallic paints, break the illusion of source lighting. Because really this is an illusion that we're doing here. I feel like we've made some nice progress on her so far today. Got about, 15, at this point, maybe about 10-ish minutes left on my stream here. And I'm really happy with where we are at with this model. I'm really going in here glazing with a very thinned down orangey paint here to go. Actually kind of darkening up the base here because it was a little bit too bright. It was just reading as yellow base, not base lit from this source here. So I'm going in, establishing some of the more darker colors there. Thank you. This model's fun to paint. This is a fun model to paint. I'm very excited for this. I was excited when I saw the initial renders for this model. And actually having it in my hands and putting some paint on it has just been, this is a joy to paint. So those of you who don't have anything going on a little bit later, I don't know if he's still in the chat or not, but Salty Sea Bass is going to be painting starting at 6 o'clock. So you should tune in and watch him paint. Are you still in here, Seabass? I don't know if you are or not, or if you are stepped away from the screen. So I'm really kind of going back in here and I'm moving around, doing the shadows, playing with the different oranges and reds there. Because remember also, fire is not a consistent illumination. It is a very flickering illumination. And so it's one reason why even like if you go in and airbrush the OSL with for fire, you really need to go in and modify it because if it looks too consistent, it looks fake. It doesn't look as good as it could, in my opinion. There we go. I don't know if Salty Seabass is still in the chat or not, but if you are, what are you planning on painting up tonight? Oh, Samantha Thrace. Awesome. The new one? Oh, awesome. So yeah, today's a big day of painting. Oh, Kavatica. Oh, that I'm looking forward to painting that model. That was I got that box. I did a unboxing on my channel a couple it was a week or two ago, and that model looks really really cool. Looking forward to actually getting a chance to paint that guy. Ooh, maybe I should learn how to play Lucius next. No, Yes, that's where all of the various locations that you can find me at. I did one of those link tree things because in some places I'm Guslado, in some places I'm Top Doug Design. But no matter where I am, I'm Doug. Which, if you haven't figured it out by now, Guslado is Douglas scrambled. Yep. I think I'm depending on what I've got going on later, I might be doing a late night paint stream of working on some terrain. So uh go find me. I'm stream as Guslado on the Twitch here. So twitch.tv/Guslado. Follow me there. And I think I'm going to be doing some more terrain tonight. Because I've got to get ready for Las Vegas Open because I'll be running that again this year, and I want to up the amount of terrain offerings I have for that, and I figure I'd do that a little bit at a time. very hard to see. So I'm kind of going in there and I'm just hitting the edges on things with the light bits there where the light is really going to catch things. Just to kind of sell that lighting. But yeah, so that's most of my time here, everyone. So here we've got the very, very bright looking Kaeris. The title, the Kaeris Reborn, who, once I've got her painted up, I'm really excited to get her to the table. Now, we've got coming up after me, I guess, starting at 6 o'clock, we're going to have Salty Seabass painting, and she's going to be painting Samantha Thrace. So make sure you tune back in for that. I believe the next time I'll be painting on here, in which case I'll be continuing on Kaeris, will be next Monday. Same time, same station. So thank you all for tuning in, and stay weird, everyone. Have a great